Let's not waste any time. For this first glitch, we'll need a thunder weapon and/or a flame weapon. You can find both at the Colosseum ruins, but only when you've progressed a lot through the game.
Backsplash! Yeah! Yeah! Jump! Ha! Yeah! I can feel the power!
Alternatively, if you haven't progressed far enough, head to the ancient tree stump from Central Tower for a great flame blade. Yoink!
Hey, that's not yours.
Then head to Tabantha Tower, and over to this mountain for a great thunder blade. Now that you have them, here's what to do with them. Attack the air with your thunder weapon, and mid-swing, go into your inventory and drop it. It won't look like much, but it's now always conducting an electrical current to whatever can receive it. Put something metal on it, and you've got yourself a shock trap. Let's have our friend here demonstrate. They are now stuck in this trap, either until we have mercy by removing the thunder weapon or its conductor, or until death. Shock traps can also be made with any color of choo-choo jelly, but it's less ideal since enemies can easily break them, unlike metal conductors. Most importantly, shock traps allow you to cheese any enemy that can be shocked.
Get over here, you little twink. I am going to get your ass.
If the destruction of your robots is too slow for your liking, just add fire. Now, if you do the same trick with a flame weapon, there's a similar effect, but with fire. Now the weapon will constantly ignite almost anything that can be lit. Unfortunately, that does not include anything living. You'll need some kind of fuel to affect them. What this does allow for, however, is a self-sustained campfire. Lit torches can do this too. Just make sure the prompt says sit instead of take before hitting A. Now you can wait however many times you want without having to relight the fire. Not that amazing, but it'll be useful later in the video. When making the self-sustained fire, don't put your wood on top of the weapon. You might lose it. What about frost weapons, you might ask? They have the amazing ability of nothing. At least I have never found anything that they affect. Let's move on to the next glitch, where we can utilize both of the things we just learned. Enemy weapon duplication. If an enemy can be disarmed with shock damage, the weapon they spawn with can be duped with this method. I'm headed to the guard's chamber in Hyrule Castle, because there's a moblin with a royal guard claymore that I would like. Just get rid of these silly lizards so they don't interrupt your process. Step 1. Make your self-sustained campfire. Also make sure your dupe buddy isn't alert and hostile. Majora's Mask or one of Kilton's masks might be necessary. Step 2. Create your shock trap right on the enemy's spawn point. Step 3. Sit at the campfire for as many times as the amount of weapons you want. Step 4. Profit. Damn it. Ew, long throw. I'm only gonna keep the one with the highest damage. You'll see why later. I did the same for this Moblin's Royal Guard Spear. They're near the lockup if you want it too. Pretty! Maybe you're not even looking for good weapons and just want to see stuff in mass. It got to the point where fire stopped working. So, they all had to die. This is a decent collection, but I could do better. This is more like it. Whoops. Anyway, next glitch. This is called menu overloading. It allows for personal equipment duping, and it allows you to transfer durability values between equipment of the same type. Just compare these two tree branches. The first branch had full durability, and this second branch has the durability of the spring-loaded hammer. So how can you obtain this overloaded goodness? Some of you probably know, and are thinking, you get like 10 multi-shot bows, then go to this desert camp? No! That's unoptimized. There are two methods I know for menu overloading. A new method, and the old one, but optimized. I'll go over both. Here's what you'll need for each method. For the shock arrow method, you'll need 4 multi-shot bows. At least 3 that are 5-shot, and 1 that is 3-shot. You'll also need a thunder weapon for the purpose of disarming. Shock arrows work too. And lastly, while not required, having an elemental rod can make things easier. Getting the multi-shot bows can be a pain, so here's a tip for that. Here's a map of all the Lynels you can get bows from. Make a save on a high spot above the Lynel, and then provoke them. If you see that they only shoot 3 arrows, reload your save. Repeat this until you see that they shoot 5 arrows, only then should you kill them for their bow. He now has a 5-shot bow, so now I must kill him without fail. Do this until you have 3 5-shot bows. Then you can go grab any regular 3-shot bow. Next, instead of going to the desert shock arrow camp, head to the Lizalfos camp here. It allows us to overload the menu with less shock arrows. Once you're there, follow these steps. Step 1.
Vanquish all the Lizalfos inside the skull. They're not needed.
Step 2. Disarm and steal the bows from the archers. Step 3. Drop your multi-shot bows for them to pick up. Step 4. Wait for all 4 Lizalfos to pick one up. Step 5. Not always necessary. Ragdoll yourself to have all of them shoot at once. Now, you've overloaded your menu. Now let's do the other method, then I'll show you how to dupe and swap durability values. For the elemental rod method, it's easy to see we'll be doing some enemy weapon duplication. Get a thunder weapon, something metal, a flame weapon or a torch, some wood, and either Majora's or a Bokoblin mask. There's a Bokoblin with a meteor rod here, go to them. Step 1. Get rid of the bomb arrow archers, they don't help. Step 2. Pinpoint exactly where our meteor boy spawns. This can be done with saving and reloading to see where they appear. Step 3. Mark their spawn point with something metal. Step 4. Go make a self-sustained campfire under this hollowed tree. Step 5. Complete your shock trap where you dropped the metal thing. Step 6. Wait at the campfire 25 times to get 25 meteor rods on the ground. You can try to save the Bokoblin with Stasis Plus, and quickly removing the shock trap, so that you don't have to wait for a blood moon to do this again. I failed, however. But with this many meteor rods on the ground, your inventory should now be overloaded. As you can see, I have no pants. Now that you know how to overload, here's what to do with it. When your menu is overloaded, noted by when Link's model isn't fully loaded, you'll notice that changing equipment sometimes doesn't work. This is what we're looking for. We want to desync what your inventory says you have equipped compared to what Link is holding. For convenience, let's call that state equipment desync. If you've got an equipment desync, if you then throw it or are disarmed, what you were holding will have been duplicated. So if you have something you want to dupe, try to equip it normally, having it show up on Link in the overworld. Then, try to get an equipment desync. Once you have that, if it's a throwable weapon, just throw it on the ground and pick it back up. If it's something you can't throw, such as shields, bows, or rods, disarm yourself by letting yourself get shocked. If you're having trouble getting a desync, this is where the elemental rod comes in handy. Equipping it, then trying to equip something else will likely get you desynced. Since elemental rods themselves can overload the game, equipping one might just be the push it needs to desync. Now, let's transfer some durability values. I duped the tree branch to compare after. I'm going to add some numbers on screen to let you better visualize what's happening. First, I normally equip my high durability weapon. You want Link to be holding this in the overworld. Now, I want to desync it with the weapon that I want to receive the durability value. Then I'll hit something, like the ground. Now the tree branch has the durability of a spring-loaded hammer that was used once. You already saw me proving that, so let's move on to shields. Normally equip my shield with good durability, the Hylian shield, desync it with the shield I want to repair. Then shield surf in place to damage it, thus updating the value to the shield equipped in the inventory. Now to prove this with a durability test. Shielding a bomb takes 30 durability points. Not many shields can handle even one bomb, let alone multiple. And of course, it can be done with bows as well. Naturally, the next thing one would want to know is what the most durable equipment is. For the purpose of durability transfer, the absolute best equipment include the Big Goron sword with durability up, Twilight bow with durability up, and the Hylian shield with durability up plus. Although the first two are locked behind an amiibo, and the Hylian shield with a modifier is a one-time thing that hardly anyone waited around to get. So if these aren't available to you, the next best things are spring-loaded hammer, an ancient bow, and the Hylian shield. Just look up how to find these if you need them. And finally, for those wondering, because I know it's going to be brought up otherwise, the fully upgraded Master Sword has 188 durability, and the Bow of Light and One-Hit Obliterator have infinite. Why not use them? For some reason, when using the Master Sword for durability transfer, the value defaults to 40. And the latter two technically don't have infinite durability. They're flagged as unable to be damaged with use. They actually only have values of 100 and 40 durability respectively. Even if you cared to transfer the 100 durability of the Bow of Light, you couldn't, because the durability value can't be updated with use, so it won't update it to the desynced weapon either. With that understood, feel free to dupe your very durable equipment until your inventory is full of them. Allow me to make some recommendations on what you should get if you're unsure. You should definitely grab yourself a 5-shot Savage Lionel bow, because not only is it one of the strongest bows, it can also be the ultimate arrow replenisher with 119 or more durability. Just take it to one of the torches at the entrance of Korok Forest, or the couple of other places this trick works at. Light your arrow on fire, shoot the torch, and collect your arrows. A 5-shot bow with this much durability can get you around 476 arrows before it breaks. I also recommend the Ancient Shield. Its unique ability to reflect lasers without parrying makes it stand out, and reflecting only takes 1 durability, meaning if you gave it the durability of the Hylian shield, you'll be able to reflect almost 800 lasers before it breaks. As a bonus, it's also the second most slick shield for shield surfing. Compared to surfing on the Hylian shield, there's just no contest. It was only ever good for its durability, and now we can have the best of both worlds. It feels nice being able to shred on these shields without worrying about them breaking. If you also want the slickest shield, go ahead and grab the Radiant shield too. Another fun shield to have is any of the Lionel shields. Because parrying with it does damage, it arguably can become the most durable weapon. Maybe even the fastest too, if you're good with crouch canceling and have a weapon in hand. And lastly, for weapons, I think the Royal Guard stuff is obvious. Its low durability making up for its high attack power is no longer an issue. It feels nice having it last for much more than one fight. I think there's still a lot of untapped potential with menu overloading. If you'd like to experiment with it yourself, here's some of my findings. The things that can cause/contribute to menu overloading include enemy shock arrows, elemental rods, the high tier ones contribute more, and to a lesser extent, your own shock arrows and octo balloons that you yourself drop. These are really only used to push it over the edge. Them alone is never enough. Adding as much of these together can allow you to overload the menu almost anywhere. Some areas are more sensitive to menu overloading, and require less of these to achieve it. For example, if you're in Korok Forest, it'll require less elemental rods on the ground to overload the menu. I'm hoping later on we can discover even more convenient setups, or how to transfer more than just durability. I'd love it if we could transfer the indestructible flag onto other weapons from the one-hit obliterator. There's also menu overloading with Dark Beast Ganon, but I don't have the patience to go over that too. I'll link a couple of videos in the description if you're curious about that. Instead, here's me breaking the Bow of Light. Never mind. I guess I can't. You might have thought of it after seeing that real durable tree branch. Next video, I am attempting something someone recently deemed impossible. Though to prepare for it, I have to start a whole new game and do a shit ton just to set myself up to attempt it. If you appreciate the work I put into these videos, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell. I promise my uploads aren't frequent enough to spam your notifications. That's all for now. I appreciate your support, and have yourself a damn good one.